In this video, we're going to go through another type of standard form question. Let's have a look at an example. So we want to write the final answer in standard form, and in brackets we have 2 times 10 to the power of 5 times 6 times 10 to the power of 3. So what we're going to do for a question like this is to just do the numbers first. So we're going to multiply them. 2 times 6 gives me 12. Then we're going to deal with the powers. So we've got 10 to the power of 5 times 10 to the power of 3. Now, one of the laws of basic indices is that when you times powers, you add them. So the base is 10. We add the powers together. 5 plus 3 gives me 8. So what we end up with is 12 times 10 to the power of 8. Now, this could be quite deceiving. This could look like it's in standard form because you've got something times 10 to the power of something, but we know what A has a special condition, that it's a number between 1 and less than 10. So what we do here is we write 12 in standard form. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, 12 is the same thing as 1.2 times 10 to the power of 1. Now you have to write the 1 there because it's in standard form. So I'm going to rewrite 12 as 1.2 times 10 to the power of 1, but don't forget it also contains a times 10 to the power of 8 originally. So now we get 1.2 times 10. Don't forget now to add the powers. 1 plus 8 is 9, so the final solution will be 1.2 times 10 to the power of 9. Here's a question for you to try. You can pause the video, and when you're done, I will go through my work solution. Okay, welcome back. So, similar to the last problem, we're going to do 4 times 8, which is 32. Let's deal with the powers now. 10 to the power of 3 times 10 to the power of 5. Now, we can keep the base, which is 10, and add the powers. 3 plus 5 gives me 8. So in this case, we get 32 times 10 to the power of 8. But don't forget that we're not finished. We need to write 32 in standard form, which is 3.2 times 10 to the power of 1. So I'm going to write that here as 3.2 times 10 to the power of 1. Don't forget we got a times 10 to the power of 8 originally. So we end up with 3.2 times 10. Now don't forget we add the powers, so we get a 9. Here's the next type of question. So we've got 4 times 10 to the power of 3 divided by 8 times 10 to the power of 5. So the first thing we ought to do is to do 4 divided by 8. Be careful here, the answer is not 2, it's 0.5 or a half. Then we're going to deal with the powers. So you've got 10 to the power of 3 divided by 10 to the power of 5. When you divide powers, you minus the powers, keep the base the same, which is 10. 3 minus 5 gives you minus 2. So we can write 0.5 times 10 to the power of minus 2, but 0.5 is not in standard form, so we could write that in standard form by saying that's the same as 5 times 10 to the power of minus 1. Why is that? Well, if we say the decimal point is here, we go one space backwards to make it 0.5. That's why we get 5 times 10 to the power of minus 1. So I'm going to replace 0.5 with 5 times 10 to the power of minus 1. And then we've got times 10 to the power of minus 2. So that will give me 5 times 10 to the power. Now be careful, minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3. So we get 5 times 10 to the power of minus 3. Here's a question for you to try. You can pause the video, and when you're done, I will go through my work solution. Okay, welcome back. So we've got 3 times 10 to the power of 2 divided by 6 times 10 to the power of 7. So we're going to do 3 divided by 6, which is going to be 0.5. And then we're going to do 10 to the power of 2 divided by 10 to the power of 7. That's going to give me 10 to the power of 2 minus 7, which is minus 5. So we could write this as 0.5 times 10 to the power of minus 5. Don't forget, this is deceiving. This is not the answer. We need to convert 0.5 into standard form. So we get 5 times 10 to the power of minus 1. And as I said before, in the previous example, we put a decimal point here at 5 and we're going one space backwards. That's why we get 5 times 10 to the power of minus 1. So we replace 0.5 with 5 times 10 to the power of minus 1. And then we need to also include the times 10 to the power of minus 5. Now that will give me 5 times 10 to the power of minus 1 minus 5 will give me minus 6.